The elders call it the powwow, or the wachipi. It means the gathering, or simply the celebration. It blooms in the spring every year and reverberates across Indian country, the plains of North America, all summer and into the fall. To some, it represents the sacred, the very essence of who we are as Indian people. To others, it is simply an artistic expression, much like the bloom of flowers in the spring. But whatever it is, it tugs at the heartstrings deep within the Indian soul. To every Indian who's ever heard the beat of the drum, there is an instant knowledge, an instant connection to its power. For those who need to truly understand this connection, one must listen to the elders retell the legacy of the drum, the history woven into the dances, and retrace the steps of those who have come before, to follow the Pow Wow Trail. Almost like pilgrimages to Mecca, every weekend from early spring to late fall, Indians flock to powwows across North America. On any given weekend, hundreds gather to celebrate. Week in and week out, some will exert as much energy as running a marathon. Others will visit. Others will express pride and dignity. All will celebrate being Indian. The beginnings of this sometimes sacred expression of cultural pride can be traced back to a gift from the Creator, the gift of the drum. It is a story which is told and retold by the elders of the Pow Wow Trail.
The drum is very, very central and very important, in our way of life.
It's like being in the womb or something, listening to your mother's heartbeat. When you're inside your mother's womb, you hear her heart thumping.
The drum is an instrument that has been amongst my people back from the beginning of time.
The drum is our way, we're taught, that we communicate with the spirits. When they hear it, they come there to listen closely.
The big drum represents the mother. The little hand drums represent the children. People will use those hand drums and they'll sing, and it's representing the children. So the drum is vital to our spirituality. The drum is vital to helping awaken the spirit.
What it does to our spirit, if you're a Native American and you hear the drum, naturally, right away you hop to it because you know it means something. But it's like a living thing to us. We take care of it because it was given to us in a sacred manner, in a sacred way, and we express our spirit with it.
This intimate connection to the drum begins with the beating of the heart, from when we are born until we die. It is no wonder then to find that the drum has always been part of Indian existence. It beats in the lodge, deep from within the earth, to the pulsating rhythm of life itself. It is used for pleasure, and it is used to heal.
There was no other drum before the water drum. That's why it's referred to as our grandfather and as a drum of drums.
What I'm going to do here is prepare the water drum for a ceremony.
Elder Steve Kijik is a traditional healer from Shoal Lake First Nation in northwest Ontario. Within his lodge, the sacred water drum is the connection to the spirit world, the summoner of the spirits, spirits of medicine, spirits that heal the soul.
Now it's ready to call out for us what the needs of our people.
As in sacred ceremony, so too does the powwow begin with the drum. a never-ending connectiveness beating from generation to generation. It beats in the words of the Dakota, the Anishinaabe, the Cree, and the Crow. In all the legends, its essence always evokes the spiritual, the sacred.
One of the stories that I heard was that this young man went out hunting, and while he was out hunting out in the forest, he shot this buck. While he was skinning it, he heard the noise from inside the tree area, and he looked, and here he saw some of the hostile Indians, like the enemy, coming around, and they were kind of looking for him. So he took this hide and he threw it, and it started to twirl and fall away. And then he went and hid. He left the meat there, so these people came and they took the meat, and they left. So after a while, he fell asleep, and when he woke up, the sun was quite hot, and he went over to the area where he threw that hide. It landed on an old stump, and that hot sun dried it onto that. And when he went over to take it off of this, he noticed that it had a beat, a very low sound of a beat. They say that that's how they got the original sound of thunder, the wakian they call it.
From the Omaha people, we have learned that the power of the drum is where it joins the power of the thunder inside the drum. We make peace with it.
That thunder itself had that sound, and nothing could match it. You know, there's no way you can match that. So they started to, when he found this sound, he went back and he made a drum or the hide like that. He put it over a piece of log and made it into, and he beat it, and it sounded exactly like the thunder.
Because they tell us of all of the forces on earth, the bird will fly through snow, even hail. It'll fly through wind and rain. The bird will stay in the trees when there's thunder and lightning. That's how powerful it is.
They had 4 beats in that drum beat. Now, whenever they sing a song, they have 4 beats that represents 4 directions of Mother Earth, as well as the 4 beats of salute to the thunder. You see, one of the things that they talk about is that every time the thunder comes back from the west, it looks upon its people. A lot of times there'll be a big clashing sounds. You can hear that thunder like as if it was singing.
And so when the thunder speaks, we listen. But with the drum, we join with our spirit. We make peace with it so that we may gain part of that power to help ourselves.
There's times when you can actually hear the beat of the thunder itself. People can hear that very clearly. So they used to say that when that happens, that means we are not doing as what we should be doing. We're not acting the way we should be acting. So what they're doing is they're singing a prayer song for us. They're singing the prayer song, and also they're singing their healing song to us. So the drum itself comes from the animal, but it also began from the thunder itself, from the universe, the thunders of the universe. It didn't come because of a person that's human. It came as a spiritual gift. It's a spiritual message, a spiritual understanding, a gift of sound.
This heartfelt spirituality transcends and captures the soul of all nations. Even if you aren't an Indian person, you feel it. The beat of the drum is said to touch the soul.
We've just always had drums, and we were taught that they were given to us by angels, spirits, or we call them spirits, and they appeared to our people and said, make them. And some people listened, and they said, we got to make this drum and use it.
Originally, the way the thunder sound is made is still here today after many, many years. We can say that 500 years, it's the drum itself still exists the same way. It hasn't changed.
For what was it given, to celebrate life, to express your life. All singing originally was prayer. That's what it was. A prayer of thanksgiving, an expression of your own self.
As an expression of Indian spirituality, it is no wonder then to find Indian people dancing upon Mother Earth, celebrating creation, giving thanks to the Creator for giving life. The pow in its center, the drum, is truly a gift.
You know, that big drum is an element, is the instrument to convey a message. But our Indian people don't look at it as the instrument to convey a message. They look at it as being the messenger that comes from only from God. And that's a very powerful feeling whenever the Indian person sits there. They're very reverent, they're very respectful. They watch what they say to each other.
Nedi Ben is a man of knowledge, an elder, a medicine man of the Medewin. In his lodge, the big drum has a sacred place, a place of power. It is here where the big drum of the Pow Wow Trail finds its roots.
It was not intended as a religion. It was not given to us as a religion, because our religion is the Medewin Lodge. And the Medewin Lodge was the original form of spirituality and religion and prayer that we were given. So the Big Drum Society and even the Pow Wow drum is very recent. The Pow Wow drum is probably, to us as a people, within the last 200 years. Yodash Gayenin Gayashin Daman Nimishum Sabanek no Kumis Sabanek Gayashin Dawaga Yogi Gitibaji Moat Andiga Jibadao Chidewa Egan, the big drum. Udigiwe Mashkudeng Giyawag Buan and Shinabeg. Gangi Kenis Iminani Wapi, Mewisha Tashwingo. You guys, way back, Nash, you in the market, a pay market, guys, you in the margoing. A girl, Buan and Shinabeg is Nikazawat. Gimage in Gooding. Gujigo 1860 Mago Guje Miwa Pigi Ogisho Gimi Ganindwa and Shinabek Shimagadish Gami Ganigut Gimawinan and Dwadash Gime Mia Kinagaje Ayangwamas Kinagaje Gashin is Sindwa Kinan Shinabek Beijing dash out kwe Gi kashkitun gi kazut. Ki noen eji kenem in da ekwe. Uma me kwe mi gaiju inent. Me guadash yogi wen nisinda wan shinabe. Kakina ga nisind. Mi gaiju ga nuni good niwe. Manidu no gi kanuni good. Gudash manidu gi nun dawat. Imani bi kang. Imani bi kang ijan. Mi ma patut. Bi kang ijan. Mi ma patut. Mi gai good manidun. Mi dash gaiju chiged mi gaiju gupit. Gaji gogit. Gaunje bimadis dash wanash kejin kademak. Ye garbage to the babagid namut. Ginoensh giwe aname bingi gi aya. On kende zimen animinik. Ane de kidwag ni ugun. Ni ugun imagi aname bingi gi shingishin gi aya. Mino adash gaji winter magud manidun. Da gupid. Da bazuit. Da ishatima a king. Shkedash magi agwa det. Gaji winter magud manidu da nibawit. Gaji nibawit. Maugdaki gangu giwe wasa. Mima yabiga beshiwat. Shimaganishak. Mimi no aga segizit. Gegun danes segizit ken giwe ugi igun manidun. Gawin giwap mi gusin. Midash giwe geget gajiwe ba kimani bawit. Ima gabeshiwat beshugu ima giwa jimaganishi gangi wap masin. Ma janda shugi igun manidun. Migu ma ijan ma namata biwata chimukumanak chimaganishin. Mi gaji majat. Mi ganu giwab megusin. Ugiwab danda shadu po in mat tema wissiniwin temagat. Mamun wissiniwin igun manidun. Mi gaji mamud wissiniwin. Gaji wissinit. Kumameneke gugi wissine. Ibangi gaji mamud gaji majidut. Wini majidut ew wissiniwin. Am beda shugi igun manidun. Bimussen. Dikya bimussen. Kabegi jiktash kiwagi bimussen. Aigo dash de nibangishi mugmiumata noebian ugi igun manidun. Midashi magi kia noebit. Aigo biwabang. Igaji amajigut manidun. Unishkan danis ugi igun. Dabo biwasa yabang agi jiwebit. Aigo dash de gipe nagusidau gizis. Miwapi manidugi kinas kagut. Kaweda shuwisiniwin mangi ugi atun ma a king minwa sema ugi asan ma king. Maniduga gaji not. Nashkedash kinas kagut manidun. Nashken danis ugi good. Kegugi we meanin. We wene bisendan. We wenen sirutan. We wenen sidawinan. We gunen yu wa mini goyen. Nashkedash mi magi wen ni ugun magi namata beo kwe. Midash magi wa madudish biming in abid mede bijibisunit. Kaunigin sidawin wasi. Kumapi beshu mabi ayat. Yabibe bijibisu. The boat dangish kan you wakia in sidawin wat. No. De weganen. Kinege go jai jinagus get we when it's a kakaj kinege go ge. Gijinagus guy jubi und kinege go ugi wabendan, gimajimendan. Idashegi maji gagi kimegut manito. Mi yu age chige. Kinagi get the winan, a kina nagamonan, nagam baga go wate go gi minigon, kinege go. Ugi mini good amanido. Mi gajimenjimenda nga kina gego. Gajimenjimenda nga kina nagamonan gigituinan abajachigan ka kina gego ugi menjimendan. mida shkaji mini good money do. Mida shima gima jishka da money do. We wene ga kinega ego eji chige da be madisit. The gano ene mata de we ganan kim shum sinan. We na mami kweg ugi mini good money do. Mi we wene ga jin sirot tanga jimi kwenda. Mida shema wenje bata chidewa egan. The Big Drum Society is in the
Not so long ago, Indian expression was frowned upon, even outlawed by churches and government. Only powwow was allowed. Today, Eddie Benet sees a passing and a rebirth in the Indian spirit. It seems powwow kept a flicker of hope burning, and today, for the first time, Eddie Benton allows the filming of a sacred ceremony. He feels it is time for all expression of Indian spirituality to now be heard.
The two-sided hand drum is known as the Ugichida de Wegan. It's important for us to place that in history, that prior to the big drum, a replica of the big drum is like the one that is sitting here, is a powwow drum, social in nature, and is the one that sounds its voice at powwows and at gatherings.
Eddie says the teachings and instructions received by Omamikwe are still practiced in their original form. His grandfather was one of the initial drum keepers who received those original instructions and songs from the Lakota people.
The gift of the Big Drum Society was that of peace. The instructions that were given to Omamikwe were followed exactly, and the order and the society and its designations, its positions were outlined, as well as all the songs. The women hold the position of the circle around the drum. She was told that the drumstick is to be given to man, and that only man can hit the drum, and that the position and the safekeeping of the drum in the society is by the women, and that is done by the protective circle around the outside of the circle of singers, around the circle of the drum. And there's also women officers that have their duties and their responsibilities in the society.
Through this legend and others like it, another movement was created in the Indian world. It spread like wildfire across the plains. It carried the wishes of the Creator, a message of peace and harmony mixed with pride, identity, and pure Indian expression.
And there's a ceremonial identity to those drums. And they say that once the drum was made, in our Dakota way was that once the drum was made, there was a man that took care of that drum. But because of the spirit of that hide, and like we see, even this tree has a heart in it, and the spirit of this tree, this heart of this tree, was very important. And these were all things that was given for us to live with.
No matter what powwow you go to, the element of respect for the drum, for the songs, for all of the things that are associated with Indian people dancing is nevertheless there. So even if it's a completely commercial contest powwow, nonetheless, to whatever degree, the respect for the drum, the spirituality of the dance, and its expression is there. And people who are without that, I don't think can enjoy the powwow as much as I can. I am moved by songs. I am moved by good singers, by a good drum group. I'm unmoved by a poor drum group, you know, and you can see that in the dancers' response. When you have a drum group that is together, know their songs, and can really hit it, the dancers just flock to dance. So there's a spirit and an intensity there. There's no way to measure whether it's greater outdoors, in the mountains, in the plains, in the Great Lakes. There's no way to measure that, eh? And but everything evolves. I mean, everything evolves with the people.
Through the warring tribes, as the Ojibwe and Sioux, we had a lot of personal fights, you know, because of the enemy type thing.
The spirits told her to build this drum and to move it eastward to their enemy, the Ojibwe people, because the Ojibwe people and Lakota people always were squabbling. And they told her, as long as you use this drum, there will never be a war on this turtle continent. He said, and Ojibwe people or Indian people are not supposed to fight among each other. They're supposed to live in unity.
And from that day on, there was peace amongst the Ojibways and Lakotas.
Today the pow and the beating of the drum quells those ill feelings. Today all tribes dance and intermingle, whites included. The message of peace is finally being heard.
That spirit has endured, and true to the promise that the Creator made to us. And these are the words, Gawin wikagi gawan enemy go sin. I shall never forget. I shall never abandon you. And true to that, that's the spirit of the drum has survived. The spirit of the song, of the dance, the spirit of the people have survived.
They lose their tradition. They don't care if they have a nice looking drum when they perform, when they have their dances. Now the people don't come down there just to see you dance. They want to see what you're used to. And that's why I don't believe in that marching band drum for the Indian to use. I believe in our custom. There's a snobby drum right there. If I ever take that drum out to show the public, man, I'm telling you, I can make money on that fella. But I don't believe in that. I didn't make that to make money. I made it to show my people the way the drum is supposed to be used when they perform.
Preserving the old ways is always on the minds of elders. In the early 70s, during a renaissance of the big drum ceremony, or powwow, elders like Bill Baker lamented the passing of a traditional rite, the making of the big drum.
Well, they treat the drum with such respect. Number one, they refer to it as Gimishomason, which just means my grandfather.
Ethnomusicologists like Thomas Venham of the Smithsonian Institute lament this as well. By capturing the story of Elder Bill Baker, he has captured on film a sacred rite.
Every aspect of the drum has sort of an anthropomorphic focus to it. That is, you speak of the 4 sticks that hold the drum up as its legs, its head, then you decorate it, you put a belt around it, and you put a skirt around it, and you put a fur strip around it, which is like a fur headdress in a sense. And the traditional decoration of the drum head was usually half blue and half red with a yellow stripe down the middle. And that was used to orient the drum, with the red facing south, blue north, and the yellow was meant to be the path of the sun. And so you orient the drum from east to west with that yellow stripe. But people are very quiet around the drums, particularly if they're kept in somebody's house. They're very respectful to them. They're actually sorts of offerings that they can put down for it. So it is, in a sense, it's treated with as much respect as, say, Roman Catholic people treat certain shrines.
Now this coming to a time where nobody takes interest. I'm interested in this stuff. Just follow me, follow me, follow me.
For all who care, Bill Baker's words and wishes are captured. Today, many traditional drums are made the way Omamikwe instructed.
Drum making is authority that was given to each individual as a member of the drum, which was passed on to us. We're not the original establishers of the drum. The drum was passed on to us in order to have peace with the other tribe of people.
You gotta raise a hoop.
Yeah, you gotta raise them hoops. You gotta raise that hoop up, that's what I say. Yeah. And then after you get the boards in, and then we press it down, see, and that puts some, that forms the barrel. See, so. I think we got it, Pat. Yeah, leave it there. You gotta clean the inside of that hide just as well as on the outside. It's going to take a little time, like I told you, but you can't rush that stuff. I have no choice. And I don't use chemical, because if I use chemical, I might as well not even make the drum. If you're going to rush it, what the hell use making it? You know, the hell is no good. When that drum was first made, I'm going to tell you something. When that drum was brought over, the ceremonial Pow Wow drum, that was made long before I was born. This drum I'm making is a woman's dance drum. Same category, it was a ceremonial Pow Wow drum. Same thing.
Big drums are not made like this anymore. Bill Baker was one of the last to put such care into making them the traditional way.
He ain't got no authority to make this drum. I wouldn't even make it if I didn't have authority. And 40 years from now, after I'm gone, what they do, I don't give a damn. But as far as that goes, you ain't got no right to make it. They're ready to go and buy a drum for $100 instead of making one for the people. And they don't even dress it up. They're anywhere near Indian. See, I got a nail that dress and then that belt on that box, you know. You take a sacred chieftain's drum, it's decorated, just painted with the idea of nature of above. Like thunderbird and eagle. Great power, spiritual power. Eagle. Hey, that's no Indian drum, that's a Mokomon drum. I suppose they want people to come and see the white man drum, show the white people they're using their drum. I suppose that makes the white people happy.
While the traditionalists lament, the contemporaries move on and carry on. To them, it's simply an evolution. The spirit of Omamikwe's vision lives on.
I can remember when I was a little fella, I was singing with some of the old men from the reservation, and they had all kinds of different drums. Medicine drums, they had Moxon game drums, they had traditional drums. But one drum I particularly remember is the bass drum. The bass drum is what I used most of my life. The bass drum has a little story behind it. Years ago when soldier boys came here, what they call it Chimukaman, they wanted to fight with the Ojibwe people. And when they were trying to sneak up on the Indian people, they were pounding this big drum. And these Indian boys, they said, geez, listen, look over there, they got a drum over there. And it really sounds good. So the boys said, let's fight with them and we'll take that drum away from them and we'll use that. So they had a big battle and they routed the soldier boys, the long knife boys, they call them Chimukaman. They put them on a run and then they took off. They left their drum. And the singers of the Chippewa boys, they grabbed this drum and they started to sing with it. And it really had a good sound to it. And they could tighten it, make it different pitches on the drum. And they started using that drum and they kind of call it a trophy drum. So they honored this drum. They put a feed on it for it. And a lot of other tribes, Ojibwe tribes, Chippewa bands, also got these drums. And they start honoring these drums. This is how our people from Red Lake started using these bass drums.
100 years later, the big drum and the powwow endure. Arbors are erected and expanded all across Indian country. The traditionalist and the contemporaries coexist. The one thing that holds true is the vision of Umamikwe. People are at peace and happy when they hear the beat of the big drum.
But even in contest powwows, even them, that this drum is somehow more than just something to pound on or keep rhythm. It's somehow there, even there. And there's a lot of people with different values and different takes on their values. There's dancers say, "Oh, I don't dance in contest powwows." Well, I do. Does that make me less? Does that make me less traditional or something? I dance because I like to. First of all, I like to dance. I like the music. I like the movement. I like the activity. I also like the competition.
Competition powwow I've been going to all my whole life. I've been to a lot of traditional powwows and I've sing at them. But then again, I'd rather be at a competition powwow simply because the feeling is there and I have a lot of friends from all over. And there's a lot of Indian humor at these powwow. You can just tease each other and not really get mad about it. But when you go to some of these traditional powwows, they kind of bring a religion to little powwow and they get kind of a little too, what would you say, pious or whatever. And my great uncle Thomas Hill always told me, he says, you keep your religion out of the powwow. You can do that over there where they have the Sundance or the Medeo ceremonies or whatever tribe's religion. They do that separate from a powwow. When you get to a powwow, this is where you have a lot of fun. Just go out and dance.
The other thing that happens whenever you sound the drum in a sacred and a spiritual way, when you're singing the spiritual songs, you call out the spirit. You call the ancestors to come and attend the gathering or the ceremony or the dancing that you're doing. You are calling them. Because the drum, of course, is like when you throw a rock into the water, it has a rippling effect and it just goes. It's identical in the spirit world when you sound that drum. It has that effect and it goes into the universe. And the ancestors hear that drum and then they come.
That drum has a way to call the spirits. In fact, I've been to places where you can see eagles hover over the arena because they come to look on too. And one time late at night I sang a song and before a small group of corporate executives and I burned some cedar and I told the people, I said, my brothers are here. And their eyes got big and then after a while you could hear them coyotes bark. They got frightened a little bit. But the animals, they come to look on, they come to witness. They have not changed or made any adaptation to modernity. And when they hear the big drum, well, they're out there. They're listening.
In the end, the drum holds no boundaries. It can be heard all the way to the borders of Mexico, to the plains of the Midwest and beyond. The drum endures and transcends.
The drum is an instrument that has been amongst my people back from the beginning of time, and we have a high respect for the drum. It is the sound that will carry across the land, and it's a sound that people enjoy hearing. It's a sound that lifts up the spirits of the people. Therefore, it is a very important part of Indian music.
The spirit of the drum simply connects people to the land, to their soul. It is the same thing with the powwow. For those who have to ask why, there is an answer.
Again, it's just a repeat of an environment that's created to help us remember. So I see the drum as a very strong gift of creating remembrance.
We believe in blood memory. So it is the genetic memory, the genetic gift that'll flow through our veins forever. I don't care how I don't care how much they take from us or where they take us. Boarding schools, adoption homes. Indian people somehow have always tenaciously, and I think by thin string sometimes, have hung on to that idea. Even if a child has not been raised in the family or on the res or in the community and taken off, somehow that never severs. Because the first time that child hears a drum, something wakes up. So we've, in spite of everything, we've hung on to something.
The drum is also very important for us as a nation and as a people. If we do not sound our drums regularly, then the voice of the people will never be heard. And what had happened to our people in recent history, that our drum was not allowed to be heard. By law, our drum was not allowed to be played. And at that point, our voice was not heard. Because what happens when the voice of the people is to be heard, then that drum must be sounded so it carries the voice of the people in a universal sense around the world.
Why do people cling to their past? Is it physical? Is it mental? Or is it spiritual? Or all three? There's a need. There's a need to cling to something original, to something real. This world is not reality. This is not the real world. And I think when we hear the drum, we are reminded of the real world. And the real world is a duality of existence, which is physical and spiritual. That's a duality. That's not just the theology of Medewan. That is what is known as the evident truth. That's an evident truth. So what's associated with that? The songs that were given by the Spirit and that was inspired by the Spirit as thanksgiving to the Spirit and as an expression of thanksgiving for our own life, an expression of our connection with all of creation. And what's at the heart of that is the heartbeat of the Creator, Him, herself. All right? The heartbeat of creation is the Creator's heart. That's why the lodge, our real religion, is known as Medewa Win. And that's why the drum is called Dewe Igun, the heart of the heart. Medewa Win is the way of the heart. His love for us is directly from the heart. So all the gifts that he has given to us as a people, as a nation, is from his heart. So the religion is from his heart. That's Medewin. What's centered to that is Dewegan, the heartbeat. But it's true that the real reason we pound the drum is to replicate the heartbeat, you know, and to be evidence, to be there when it's happening, you know. We can hear the heart rhythm of creation because of the factories and four-wheel drives going by and the din of satellite television, but we can hear it there, you know, and we can connect with it there. That's the magic of it, eh? It's magic, or is it the spirit of it, eh?
All right, over on the east side, And ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you.